Hey guys, welcome back to Allison Customs and another Tool Bag Tuesday. What I've got for today is a Rotary toolkit. It's part number DC08, and this comes from Amanda at Depstech. I hope I pronounced that right. They're an Amazon seller. Offered to send us out one of their new toolkits and let us test it. So, as you guys know, I don't try and sell you stuff, but I do try and show you some new tools or different things coming onto the market as I get offered them or as I've purchased them for myself. So this kit is made in China. 120 some accessories is what's supposed to be included. Uses an 8-volt 2000 milliamp hour battery and weighs less than a pound, 0.82 pounds, 8.8 inches in length. All that's kind of on their website or on their Amazon sale site. See, it's got a 1-year warranty. It's supposed to, you send them an email to get information and they get back to you within 24 hours, it says. That's what I know about it. And a lot of these products, when I get them, I don't even know that much sometimes. So, and some of them, it's funny, sometimes with these products that I get sent, they get here and they're absolutely not something I want to, even remotely promote, and I throw the video footage away. So when it actually makes it to the screen, at least I thought enough of it, or so little of it that I wanted you to see how bad it was. Anyway, so opening the kit comes in a nice little hard plastic case, which I don't personally keep all these cases. I would have them everywhere, and I do have lots of them for bigger kits, but so I usually end up cutting off the hinge and then just keeping half the tray, and that's how I kind of keep the parts in a drawer somewhere. But if you're somebody who likes to have these, put them up on a shelf or whatever, it does have a pretty nice little hard case here with good latches. And looking through it, the reason that I went ahead and said yes, we would test this, because we've already tested one Rotary kit, worked just fine. In fact, I still use it pretty regularly. This one's cordless, so that was the reason I was interested in testing this one, to see if, being a cordless system, it could actually do a good job for us. And like I said, this uses an 8-volt battery, so I'm wondering if that's enough battery. But uses a Type-C or USB-C charging port there, and it does come with the charging cord. Let's see, as it's shipped, I wonder if it has any power. It's got about 2 dots on there. Well, I can't hold it and stop it. I mean, I probably could, but it was hot enough trying to grab it that way. It's got a guard for doing vertical work, where you're kind of more using it more like a router. Has a safety guard, a shield, so you could put that on one side to protect your eyeballs and your face. And comes with the little accessory kit. So let's get the camera and zoom in over here. So now in this kit we have the charging cord, like I said, USB-C, the actual tool, a shield. I don't know why I put it back in here and sealed it up. A guard shield that you can replace the nose cap with. It all just kind of screws on, and then you can move it to wherever you're working, to protect your eyes and your face. Obviously that's not a replacement for having some safety glasses on. It's also got a nose piece that would screw on there, and that makes this more like a router table or a router, so that you can set your depth and everything. And then we've got our accessory kit. And let's see, we've got a whole bunch of really small cutting discs, a few larger. These are probably about 1.1 or so. Got quite a few sanding drums, the arbor for those. Got one, I'm sure it'll say diamond plate or something, kind of cutting disc. And then we've got an assortment of grinding. Oh, there's one that's got nylon brushes. We've got, of course, the buffing, I guess, buffing wheels. There's a metal brush one. All right, so for me, I don't do a lot of woodworking anymore. Basically, only when I have to. So I think these kits a lot of times are kind of designed more for somebody who's doing some jewelry work, maybe, because I don't really know what else these little buffing wheels would be for, or for somebody who's doing some woodwork. But I don't know that for sure. I mean, you got metal cutting discs, you've got some other kind of fiber cutting disc. Obviously, those aren't for wood. I doubt the instructions tell us. Okay, so the instructions really don't talk about the accessory kit at all, other than to say that if you want to buy, there's a lock on here to hold the collar, and then there should be a little wrench in here. I don't see it, but we'll keep looking. But there's a collet in there, and this collet is for, the one that came in it is for 1/8 inch. But if you look in your accessory kit, there are collets for a couple different sizes. So we have the collet that came in it, and then there's 3 more collets. Looks like this one's another 3 point, yeah. They're saying 3.2 millimeter, 1/8 inch for those of us in the US. And then the other 2 are 1.6 millimeter, which would be a 1/16 inch, and then a 2.3 millimeter. Obviously that one would have to probably stay metric to find the tools for it. It really, I guess, comes with 2 additional collet sizes, a third, and there's an extra 1/8 inch collet in there. Nice thing about that is if you've got some of the smaller tools, or that can go into these, like there are some 1/16 inch tools in here, you could use those. In this case, there's a drill bit and looks like a couple of the saw bits that you could use, like using in router mode. Anyway, for me, the way I tend to use these rotary tools is I use them a lot like I would a die grinder that's air powered. The advantage with these being that they're smaller, you can hopefully get into a little tighter area. So like when I'm working on some project, I'm trying to clean up an area that I just can't get a bigger tool into. So for that reason, I tend to use the stone wheels, different shapes often, and I use the sanding discs, or sanding drums rather. I use these sanding drums pretty often. And that's about it for the tools. Once in a great while I've pulled out the cutting discs, just trying to get something a little cleaner cut on something, but just not the way I tend to use them. Let's see, let's talk about the tool briefly. First button on the top is the lock for the spindle so that you can tighten or loosen the collet nut. And it does come with a little wrench so you can get in there, do the same. The on-off switch, and then with the switch in the on position at the bottom here, there is a plus and a minus, which gets you more RPM. It looks like it starts all the way down at the bottom at 5,000, 15, 20, 25,000, and 30,000 RPM. So as you might have noticed there, we're starting to get some popping in the microphone, and it ended up quitting. So what I'm covering now is just that the full kit seems like a nice complete kit. The instructions are actually extremely good. They're very well written, about 12 pages. They're in English, and very useful. Lots of explanation, tells you how to maintain the battery and other options there. So then I wanted to bring you over and show you using the tool in real world situation. The one I'm showing you now is the new master we tested quite a while back. And I was using it on this actual door. I like it because it has this flexible wand. Makes it for a nice, light, easy to use tool. You can get into some tight areas and do some pretty good detail work. Normally I tend to use these Astro die grinders, either the straight or the 45 degree. Those work very well for most of the work that I do, but I do like to get in there with the smaller, rotary tools, die grinders, and do the fine detail work there. Got a couple welds in this seam where I had to tack on the door skin to this door I was making, and some of the places are a little too tight to really get in there with the bigger tools, so we're going to use the rotary tool, this battery operated one, to get in there and try and finish them up. Okay, so now in a close-up here where you can see the welds, and they're in that tight area right there between the door skin and the door body. We've got just a sanding drum on here, fairly coarse. We're just going to test it. I wish I had the sound here for you guys, because the tool did slow down a little bit. The rotary tool, the motor did get a little bound, but not bad at all. It really kept powering right through that weld. And, unfortunately, you can't get in there too far, because I don't want to dig into too much of the body of the door there. I don't want to do more than just make it flush. All right, so now we're zooming in on yet another weld that needed to be surfaced. And again, the tool is just doing a great job. And we've had a good charge on the battery here for a little while, so we're just getting the work done, grinding away on that. And then, like I said, we're going to change tools here. We're going to put on a cutting disc, and then we'll try and clean up the rest of that weld that's into the actual body of the door without sacrificing the quality of the weld. We don't want to get in there and actually cut the weld completely away. We want the door skin to be welded to the body of the door. Okay, so now you can see where on the end of the tool there we've changed out the arbor and put on a cutting disc. It's one of the 1 1/8" diameter cutting discs that we were looking at earlier in the kit. And it's doing a great job. It's grinding right away at that. You got to take little cuts, real shallow cuts into the weld, because you don't want to break the disc or have it shatter on you. Just take your time. It'll grind right away. We can leave just enough of the weld to hold everything in place and clean everything up without gouging into the original metal far enough to do any real damage. And you can see there, it's a nice clean finish. All right, guys, final thoughts on this Depstech DC08. I would say it's a buy. I was pleasantly surprised by the battery power. It ran for about 13 minutes, and that included the work we were doing over there on the door, and then I just clamped it up in a vise, let it run just wide open at 30,000 RPM, no load, and then about every 2 or 3 minutes I'd go over with a piece of sheet metal and run that sheet metal into this cutting disc and let it cut for 15, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and then I'd just let it continue to run and go back and do it again. So that's not a full no-load run, not a full working load run on the battery, but 13 minutes, pretty good. It did get a little warm up here on the motor and gear end, but not enough that you certainly couldn't have worked with it or anything like that. So for a low dollar, it's in the $50 price range on Amazon right now. I should have some discount codes for you. We'll put them up on the screen as well as in the description. For a 8-volt battery, 2,000 milliamp, I was pleasantly surprised at the amount of work we could get done with it. The tool has a nice weight to it. It's not real heavy. Definitely something you can work with one-handed. I would say if you are in the market for a cordless rotary tool, this should be at least on your list of things to consider. Allison Customs is an affiliate to Amazon, so we do make a little money off these tools when you buy them, but they don't add anything to your cost. It's just we get a little bit of money back, so it supports the channel, and we appreciate that. For now, though, I do want to thank you for joining me today. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, all the other YouTube stuff. See you again next time on Allison Customs Tool Bag Tuesday.